I did a lot.
A lot. A lot of hierarchy. With dating.
With the way of showing myself.
The way of dressing. What I did with that money back then. So I don't have any balances.
I didn't attract a second of balaka. Everything I could have dreamed in my head.
Even things I couldn't see myself doing. Notably like bursing.
They say you're grumpy. I didn't. In fact, I arrive at a stadium. I am reaching an A.
I arrive at a stadium. There are more things that make me dream. So we have to start looking.
Elsewhere?
We need to get ahead of this now. It's not just once that we're going to push the door.
And he means
People want to cost them more. Now I do how no. You don't let go of a pin without grabbing another one, as they say.
So we must immediately try to catch
A spit while we still have the juice.
Can you tie yourself quietly? You can't make your sounds because today you understand.
After the Pyrrha cycle.
It's a cycle, really.
The design of the project. The project comes out. The turns. We come back.
Not design of the project comes out.
So, because French, sometimes words are being said quickly, so that's why we're hearing that too much speed up. But the translation is accurate, but the words are hearable, which is the matter. So the words are clear, even if they're speed up, you can still understand what they're meaning. So let's look at the second set. Let me see which one of those. I think I must do this one. Yeah, 23. Perfect. Um, and last one at midnight.
And I explain when I watch the movie The Joker.
And I actually thought, why did they make the Joker movie? To show you that having it
He's
low.
not a bad guy.
But people, they made him mean.
Explain when I watch the movie The Joker.
Let me just add volume so we can hear clearly the sentence. And just to not overload it, so I'm just gonna mute myself.
And I explain when I watch the movie The Joker.
And I actually thought, why did they make the Joker movie? To show you that having it
He's
low.
not a bad guy.
But people, they made him mean.
You caught. So,
I draw a parallel with the homeless.
it's weird, but they need a... And we are more embarrassed than... We look away.
I find generally people,
You see? They need attention. They need human warmth.
they need a helping hand. And we leave them.
We act as if they were non-existent.
And you have seen thousands of brothers.
They have jewelry on their props on them.
They attract people like honey.
But you chose
And
them.
there I am in contact. He doesn't need you.
That means it's a paradox, right?
You will attract. You are attracted to people. They don't need you.
That they are fucked up.
But they need you. And I think that indifference and malice, it was indirect from these people, makes them evil.
Well, marginal people.
Recluse themselves, the company explained.
You see?
A little dirtier, a little more. It's the people who make them like that.
So as for other content, the only thing I could do is actually add few more transcriptions, which will allow you to transcribe languages like Korean and other languages correctly without having issues with the wording in the position. The software takes a while to load because it's actually loading first the models, making checking the models that they are actually in their position. It's you can actually just load the GUI at first and then load the model within the process. But I think it's more better to check if they are in. This is why the loading takes a while. It's actually getting, as you can see in my configuration, I have an NVDA Force GPU, so it's actually getting the DAL file from the actually environment, checking if they are actually in the engine packet. As you can see, I have actually an engine packet which have actually packages which are related to the DL and also related to other packages that we will be adding. So I find like the best way to bypass the conflict is actually to add a folder and drop packages inside of it. It seems like more better actually than creating multiple environments to solve a problem with Python. So and now I'll be doing later on explanation of code, but right now I'll do a tutorial how you can build one by yourself. But at the moment I'm just like doing a tutorial how you can use it and what can you use if you have ideas like this if you want to make your own translation. So you need a basis structure of how you're gonna start your logic of coding. So like it's not easy to make. It's like taking multiple function gathering together to obtain a certain one function which will be translating for you. It sounds easy but complex when you look at it in details. You're gonna find a lot of issue. One of them align the audios in their time fitting, making sure that they fit their time, not expanding, making sure position are aligned, making sure that the time and duration from the script is matching, transcribing actually the audio from from audio to text, getting the timestamps where those words split and said, getting the speakers, identifying them, who's speaking to whom. It's a little bit complex, and then clowning the voice and stuff. But it's a good project actually if you want to dive in. They keep you busy, but so let us try. I already have this one, but retry this one in English. As for languages, other supported language because Whisper doesn't support everything. For Japanese, I recommend Kotoba. Sorry, I recommend Kotoba Whisper, and for Mandarin's language, Japanese, Korean, Sensitive Voice Sensitive Voice Smile. Uh, sorry, Small. Now, if you read over here, it says support Chinese, English, Japanese, Korean, and there is other models like Sensitive Voice also. It's quantized. Let me just take off this one from here. As you can see, it can also support the same languages. Over here, let me see. Okay, same. So 3 models that they've been added just for Mandarins. If needed, they are over here. As for the other models, they support any other languages from French, English, Italian, and Spanish, Portuguese. But other than that, German also. But other than that, you may need other transcribers. So we're gonna put it fresh since I said it in English. I'm gonna reload the bar because I set it to 140 so I don't have to put it many times twice, but now I realize reloading would be the fitting subject. And now let me just when you just click OK, you don't have to click not much because I already preset the configuration. So anyone who would like, they can just click OK. Otherwise, if they wish to change the configuration, they may drop inside and change whatever they wish. It would be applied. Nothing done, it will apply those preset config, which because entirely the process, you would not actually need to click those configuration at all unless you have using some language which is too shrink and you require slower vocals so you can fit it in, perhaps, yeah. But other than that, most likely everything is done automatically, like the entire process, calculations and stuff, they are actually made to not allow you to go to to not actually to facilitate for you the mixing instead of you going inside and dropping audios in their solid time, which sometimes takes work and takes time actually. Like you can have a footage of 20 minutes, but you're gonna spend more than that. You're gonna spend running the footage, stopping each point that the segment is not aligned with the time, moving it up and playing it back. So you may need actually 40 minutes to just finish 20 minutes, but if you have an hour, you will need actually 1 hour and a half to 2 hours. And then waiting it for that for mixing. Well, this one treat everything at once. It generate position, it generate clean position, pick the cleanest one, quality and everything. Process may take few seconds more, but it's actually doing the job that someone else would be doing. In this one, the last result was nice, only that the translation was not correct.
Ouais. Positif? Je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas s'il est positif. Je ne sais pas ce que signifie positif. Il veut dire que tu es sûr. Oui. Oui, quoi?
Oui, je suis sûr qu'il y a Alice Brittle.
Je suis sûr qu'il est mort. Venez, Django. Tout le monde se calme. Nous ne voulons faire de mal à personne. Qui êtes-vous tous les deux farceurs? Je suis le docteur King Shulker. L'homme à ma gauche est Django Freeman. C'est mon adjoint. Dans ma poche se trouve un mandat pour l'arrestation et la capture morte ou vive. Vous les connaissez sous le nom. Mais le vrai nom du boucher était Brittle. Ce sont des hommes recherchés. La loi du meurtre. Je réalise. Les passions sont vives, mais je dois vous prévenir. La pénalité pour avoir utilisé une force mortelle contre un huissier de justice dans l'exercice de ses fonctions. Le devoir est que tu seras pendu par le cou jusqu'à la fin. Tu es mort. Puis-je, s'il vous plaît, retirer ma poche? Vous pouvez l'examiner? Donne-moi. Puis-je récupérer ça? Éteignez ma lampe. Oh, merci. Je recharger les corps aussi vite possible. Ayez un ici.
So, as I said, there was missing translation at some point. Like in
Ouais.
it's supposed to be leave my land. Well, in French, it's supposed to mean allez de ma terre, retirez-vous de ma terre ou
Puis-je récupérer ça?
sortez de ma terre.
Éteignez ma lampe.
Oh, as you can see in Arabic, it says over here, which means get out of my land, which was mistranslated. But anyway, we're gonna clean first the temple and then restart the same translation. So it's just So if you read all inside here, it's given score for each duration, time, quality, speech, quality. It has a metrics actually to evaluate quality based on the need and a logic. If voice recloud was hard, actually it will try as much as possible until it actually a good quality speech cloud and recloud using that cloud itself. So by the end you should have definitely voices, not empty audios or weird sound audios. And it is really strict, like it need to be 60%. Otherwise, it would pick the best among all the tests after all the attempts. If you can see over here, recovery, you will start seeing right now green. If you see green passing through, that's one of the segments that fitted through. Yeah, as you can see, updating 70. So here we got ourselves a good rough of 70. Now we're gonna start reusing just that rough, which means inside here everything would be changing. Like you're starting seeing just green successful after trying again, 70 in the score after retrying, successful again, 70, 55, above 55 you will try again to get it back 60. Failure at the end, looping back all the failures, trying again to see if we fix the voice somewhere, pick from that voice and refix. Too much complex in the logic. It's not an AI actually who's doing for you the logic, it's just a logic built by functions that treat things and retrieve them back to put them fitting. There is no bot, there is no models like even for the mixing, I'm not using an AI to mix. The only AI models are used to transcribe. That's it. Other than that, there is zero. Everything is done by pure logic. Now it's done. And if I scroll to the top, we can actually review the report on the process. It says over here there is no overlap detected. Okay, final time and verification for French. So if we read the logs, we can see what's happening over here. So over here, all the logs of the speed up, duration, script, duration. So it's canceling for me log. Okay, the actual start is 2, but in the script it's starting at 14 and then at 18. Sec duration should be 351. So over here it's, if you read, resolving overlap in French. Over here is quality process. If you see over here, good or 3 merging, that means we find that they failed is 1, but we actually fixed it and put it back. And here failure was 1, so 1 segment have failed, but into the total of the retrieve we're missing 2 segments, but we recover 8, the total of 8. So let me check. It's not missing, it's gonna use whatever the quality is actually available about that segment. But also we're gonna need to check. If you see, we have the 12 over here, but it starts with the 0, not with the 1, which make it actually file not found. Okay, the 0 is not there. Okay, so the 0 is the first segment. What we're gonna do about that one. Somewhere in the logic, I'm gonna need to dive in. It's really complex. Need a more coffee actually to dive before diving in. This is missing.
Non comme ça, tu es charmé.
Okay.
Non comme ça, tu es charnu. Pour la livre de mathématiques que vous avez volé et 15 autres pour la douleur et la souffrance de mon partenaire. Ouais, je m'en souviens un peu. Or, tu dois être papa.
Laissez-moi prendre cette rue. Mais je suis toujours toi.
Choisissez un morceau.
Je suis ton nouveau gars.
Je comprends que vous vous trompez en partie.
Okay, now we got issue with this one not being properly picking up. Sound. I think the problem was the transcriber not transcribing correctly. So in some audios you will get something like that. So what we're gonna do about that one, we're gonna retry again, but this time I'm gonna use this one because this one is picking whatever text. Whisper sometimes model get confused with the sounds within the audio sometimes, although they're clean, but just gonna make sure that this sign would be passing through no issues. Keep it at 30, 25. And then I put it through. Also, make sure to clean the folder. Sometimes the segments are there, the reports are there. It still use all the reports. I'm gonna clean the reports after this one. It's just a matter I just need to fix the transcript logic and the tempo. Now what's cool, we're gonna be seeing the text, which in Whisper we don't see. Now it's starting over here, but if I want to see the text, I just gonna need to pull this one over here, go to the bottom, give it a few seconds to load the model, which we'll do right now. Now get in the first transcript and then pass on the first to the second. Now if you see, it's gonna start right now. So it's getting Whisper timestamps where it fell and then processing them back. If you see over here, we get in the words correctly. It should be 13 segments, which were treated correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 segments. So not 13, not 12, but 16. I know it's tricky, and it depends what model you're using and how it's transcribing. So that is the issue. So in other words, this is, by the way, this is a model that I created myself. I used two models, merged them together to create a model which will do the same thing, only to support other languages on the top of Whisper, which was actually nice to realize that you can do so. You can use Whisper timestamps and use whatever speech detection that can support any language you want and put it just between the segments where Whisper gives you the timestamp and use it to transcribe. Also did few verification process for voice not merging, detecting the voice. So those few issues that you're gonna come across will handle in actually your project too. If you're gonna build something like this tool that translate, bear in mind that those are the things you may sometimes whisper transcription, it's incorrect. You may think it's something wrong. What's happening? That it's normal. I mean, it's because the model doesn't support loud voices and doesn't pick voices sometimes correctly. So flexible thoughts, try to find alternative. That's the point. And another thing, make your research, and before you go to transcription, don't do like I did, because I built it like everything in from the beginning just based on Whisper, which was actually incorrect. Because after I realized that there is another models, but right now there is few conflicts, and I don't want to actually expand adding packages during the script itself. So I'm just like maintaining within the available models, and whatever I'll be adding, like engines for clown and voice, they would be actually either executable or APIs, which they're going to be outside, but executing the function, dropping the folders within the location so the system can go over that location and pick up the folder and continue the process. Or I will be wrapping them again. We shall see. And also depends on how much I have left. Okay, I already consumed another 30 GBs somewhere inside here. So I'm not thinking about expanding more. Yeah, I added actually 5 GBs in few models and the answers and stuff. So if you're wondering, this project that you see, it's too much in that, and it's still operating and it's still fast, acknowledge that the entire project has actually oversized. It's not a 10 GB software or 20. It's actually beyond. So let me just give you an example of the packages. Let me see. Think of, yeah, they are here outside. Sorry. So those are the packages. Beside other packages, there are inside folders that they are not actually put in here, but the environment entirely has all these packages. Some are from the pip, as you can see, and other dependencies that there are dependencies from Conda environment, which also comes from the pip. Because in order to use the pip, we need to install the pip library. If you didn't know that, in Conda they install the pip library and then use the pip within. And this is the environment of Conda. So if you want to build a local environment, you're just going to need those in, and you can use your pip within that environment that you use. As if you want to get this one, if you do Conda, for example, Conda, okay, in the export, then dash name, whatever environment that you want to export. For example, Arabic, you're gonna export this environment and do name, then dash this, then this, and then you give it the name, what you're looking for. Are you looking for requirement.txt, or if you want, you can do requirement.yml. If I'm correct, yeah. Then it will give you a YAML file, which would be created. Give it a few seconds. Now it's finished. And if you see in your YAML, you will get all the dependencies that you have. Otherwise, if you needed a text to do requirement, just again this and switch this to text, which will give you requirement.tsx. And now if you look over here, and you get a copy of whatever was running within your environment. Now we have the video, we have finished result, and hopefully they're gonna be satisfying. Although I didn't read the report yet, but let's play it and look at the report from here. Okay, it's just the
Comment tu t'appelles?
yes.
Heisenberg. Heisenberg? Benjamin Heisenberg.
Je ne pense pas que je serai ici très longtemps.
Non. Quoi de cette façon?
Bien sûr, immédiat.
50 000 $. Oh, sympa. 35 pour la livre volée par Matthew et 15 autres pour la douleur et la souffrance de mon partenaire. Oh ouais.
Je me souviens de...
Donc tu dois être papa. Mange-le. Je le pense toujours. Genre...
La sortie de ton garçon muet.
Ensuite, tu m'amènes plus d'hommes. C'est une pièce brillante, n'est-ce pas? Vraiment. Vous vous trompez en part. Ce n'est pas un mythe.
So the translation is there correctly. Only that we're gonna need to look at the transcript. There is some words that clearly. So another advice when you're building anything or building any logic, try to add at the end of the input a report, so you can go through the reports and check where what was, but expecting that you're gonna go through and find it out. But if you notice that we picked a lot of the segments that the first try did not pick, which is, it's also the voice of the vocal was actually too loud and non-clean. So let me just view. This is projects. This is our project over here, our transcript, and this is our reports. So I need to find out the report from the transcription. That was a miss moment. There's moment. Should be moment. Okay. Okay, this is correct. But let me see the correct transcript. IIS. Correct JSON. Okay. Now the French report. Because I do have, okay, I didn't save the translation. So usually this is should be this is the transcription of we can correctly. Math. Look at the report. Quality of the first segment. Did we retrieve the first segment or not? Okay, we have few segments of bad quality that they didn't get retrieved correctly. Okay.
Comment tu t'appelles? Heisenberg. Heisenberg? Edward Heisenberg.
Je ne pense pas que je serai ici très longtemps.
Non. Quoi de cette façon?
Bien sûr, immédiat.
50 000 $. Oh, 35 pour la livre volée par Matthew et 15 euros pour la douleur et la souffrance de mon partenaire. Oh ouais.
Je me souviens de...
Donc tu dois être papa.
Mange-le. Je le pense toujours. Genre.
La sortie de ton garçon muet.
Ensuite, tu m'amènes plus d'hommes. C'est une pièce brillante, n'est-ce pas? Vraiment. Vous vous trompez en partie. Ce n'est pas un mythe. Comment tu t'appelles? Heisenberg. Heisenberg? Edward Heisenberg.
Je ne pense pas que je serai ici très longtemps.
Non. Quoi de cette façon?
Bien sûr, immédiat.
50 000 $. Comment tu t'appelles? Heisenberg. Heisenberg? Bien joué, Heisenberg.
Je ne pense pas que je serai ici très longtemps.
Non. Quoi de cette façon?
Bien sûr, immédiat.
50 000 $. Oh, sympa. 35 pour la livre volée par Matthew et 15 euros pour la douleur et la souffrance de mon partenaire. Oh ouais.
Je me souviens de...
Où tu dois être, papa? Nage-le. Je le pense toujours. La sortie.
So I'm just gonna repeat the test. It's just like I realized that the vocal, actually the speakers folders, will not be changed, which means that the report of the previous pass will be here, meaning that those segments that did not get processed correctly, now they're gonna use this one, the last rough that we used, which should be this one right here.
Warman!
Problem. The rough that we picked to make the voice was not actually clean.
Pardon. 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 Pardon.
So the samples, but we do have samples over here. 65 good quality.
Comment tu t'appelles? Vous vous trompez en partie.
As you can see now, it's gonna pick from the examples qualities. Am I gonna have to go back because the rough voice seems like being picked are actually just on the clean one. That's why we get those sounds like, that sound like it says, that doesn't have a word. Those segments that are empty is actually because of the voice rough is not clean.
Quel est ton nom?
Heisenberg. Heisenberg. À qui appartient Heisenberg?
Je ne sais pas imaginer que je serai là très longtemps.
Non. Ah,
Toi comme ça.
c'est votre réunion. Pourquoi ne commences-tu pas à parler et à me dire ce que tu veux? Oh, 50 gays.
Comment tu comprends ça? Pour la douleur et la souffrance de mon partenaire.
Quoi? Oh, ouais. Je me souviens de cette petite salope. Alors, tu dois être papa. Permettez-moi de mettre les choses au clair.
Je te drogue, j'ai battu la piste.
Hors de ton repas, garçon. Et puis tu entres ici et tu m'en apportes plus. Matsu. Quoi?
Quoi?
C'est une pièce brillante, n'est-ce pas? Vraiment?
Vous vous trompez en partie.
Ce n'est pas Mathieu.
So I'll be back after break.